So right now JoJo is 4 for 4 with this part and this adaptation. I have loved every single episode, and minus, once again, a couple of very minor art dips with facial structures just not being detailed at all. I loved everything about this episode. I'm really enjoying just how creative the fights are. Now, JoJo fights have always been creative in past parts, but there's something about Giorno and how his stand reacts, because he can change the foundation of things. He can turn a ledge into a vine. He just has this interesting ability that makes fights more interesting, because even when he goes up against stands like Black Sabbath, who literally is completely overpowered in comparison to him, or at least you would think, because if there's shadows of any sort, he can pop up there without any hesitation. But I like how you have this character who, even though may not be the best in battle at first glance, the way he can change the landscape around the characters, it actually makes him the overpowered one in the situation. And I really like how this battle was functioning, and how, for the first time in this series, I felt like Giorno could easily get stabbed by an arrow here. Like, I really feel like he has a chance at losing, because when you have the sun setting, and as soon as that sun goes away, how are they going to overcome this stand? It was a really thrilling battle, and I like when Koichi does eventually pop into the situation, how he's dealing with it, and just the back and forth between these characters, because Koichi, as far as he can tell, Giorno killed this old man at first glance, so I like how he gets introduced to the battle, but ultimately how his stand is working, because essentially, Giorno's leg is about to get destroyed. Like, his leg is going to shatter if he doesn't let go of his stand, but because he can't let go, he can actually destroy the tree around them and just burst this guy into sunlight, and just the over-the-top JoJo reaction of this stand, and I love that. I just love how the battle functions, because even though I was thinking, okay, it's going to be pretty one-sided, you got a guy who can pop in and out of shadows very easily. Obviously, he's stronger than his stand. Like, of course, if he gets him in the sunlight, maybe he can do something, but it really didn't look like it was in Giorno's favor. I thought he was going to lose. Maybe Koichi would come in, save day, someone else would have to come in and rescue him from this situation. But I'm really glad with how it functioned and how creative Giorno is when it comes to situations like this. He's very good at thinking on the fly and figuring out how to overcome these obstacles. And I think his relationships with Koichi is pretty interesting, because Koichi has been told that this guy cannot be trusted. As far as we can tell, he's going to be a villain. We cannot trust him. Get back to base. Let's regroup. But I like how Koichi does have an ability to read people to a certain degree, and he is seeing, like, this is a guy who, yes, maybe isn't a moral compass who's going to do the right thing always, but there's very much something Joestar in his blood, that he's doing something righteous, and that's ultimately why he doesn't inform him about Popol and just what ultimately he was planning, because just taking out him isn't going to do much. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much to this hierarchy in gangs that this fat guy with a shadow stand is just the beginning. And for a man to want to work his way up to kind of reach the top of this organization and maybe actually do something, that's something that's very interesting, and you want to follow a character like Giorno, because even though maybe, yeah, he will kill people if they get on his bad side, if they take out people that he cares about, like this old man, and maybe he will steal from women on the streets from time to time, but he's definitely not the worst character you'll ever see in JoJo, and he's someone who you want to follow even if he does have some shady sides to him. And I absolutely love him as a character, and just how he ultimately gets into this gang, which it gets a bit more kind of fleshed out, which I did recognize the arrow last week from the bow that changes people into stand users, but I didn't talk about it because I wanted to see exactly how this was all going to tie together. And this week, it's basically the test is kind of 100% explained. The whole idea is the lighter has to go out. There's no way you can keep a lighter lit for 24 hours, but if you get stabbed by the arrow and live, it means you're a stand user, or you get killed. Either way, the gang's going to benefit one way or the other. So I like how Giorno is like this man who's like, you taught me something, that it's okay to kill if you insult me, and you insulted me by killing that man. And the way that he turns a banana into a gun, so when he eats it the next day, he kills himself. I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't expecting that death. I was definitely expecting, you know, a couple episodes down the line, maybe in the next arc, Giorno would want to take this man out in a different way, maybe face to face. But the fact that he's just like, I got into the gang, so now you're going to die. That was brilliant. And that is such a JoJo move, because JoJo is so good at being unexpected, right? It can have these moments that no one's going to see coming unless they've read the source material. They can have these over-the-top fights, but actually have strategy behind these fights, but at the same time have these character moments that you can honestly feel a little scared by its main character, because look at what he was able to do without any hesitation. I can't wait to see how far Giorno is willing to go for this gang and what he'll have to do, just how this hierarchy is going to function, especially now that we're going to be getting introduced to even more characters next week. This part of JoJo is everything that I want. I'm seriously loving everything about it, and I can't wait to see more. I really think it's the gang setting that's making this really stick out a lot, because when you have a character like Giorno who isn't this pure good or pure evil person, but really, he's pretty questionable in a lot of ways of his thinking, but you want to root for him and you want to follow him, especially with the idea of a gang story, which is so different from past JoJo parts with the over-the-top nature and creativity behind the stands. This is doing everything that JoJo should do and a little bit more, and I'm really excited to see more. Like, this part is everything I've been wanting. The voice acting, the animation, it's really so damn perfect for me, at least for right now. But let me know whatever you thought of this episode down in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate? Your favorite moment? If you're an anime original like myself, did you expect that death at the end of the episode? Because I can say I certainly did not. Well, I did once we saw his hand stick through and actually change something, but I wasn't expecting it at first, which was really nice surprise. But let me know whatever you're feeling, and be sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content from me in the future. But until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.